I found myself disturbing his sleep. Good for him that he is happily laughing loudly. Interrupting with what's so funny is purely selfish. There was a horse, and I was having a great conversation with Robert Kennedy, he states coldly. He is annoyed at my disruption. I am annoyed at his annoyance, but most annoyed at the contrast, the stark difference in dreams. His jovial laughter woke me, took me out of the huge expanse of a deserted parking lot in a pitch-black night. That piano entered our life, and now love songs from 5 decades are sprawled across our mantel. It was a hard birth, pushing 800 pounds, scraping our knees, losing a wheel, splintering mahogany vines. A slap and a cry, Weber is upright and alive, 1 century plus some. Now it feeds us blues and jazz and southern ballads, turns around a sour mood, post-bill blues, makes lukewarm moments sizzle. Anxious to calm, empty to full, house to home, clapping and encores. Play for me, next one's yours. This corner of our room is a smoke-filled New Orleans speakeasy, and feet are stomping. That piano is some hot sake on a rainy Sunday, chilled pomegranates at the beach. Legs scraped, B-flat gone, it takes us just where we need to go. The beach children throw rocks today to crush clamshells and pull slimy, skeletal remains from the water's edge to poke with their plastic shovels. The structure of their day is set around conquest. This is Dominion, the land on which they roll their salty selves in hot, dry sand like cod fillets for fry. Their bodies in constant orbit back, forth, and around, sometimes slipping in freshly dug holes. They run and catapult dead center on the castles of others with omnipotent power and bury each other neck deep before jumping on the just-made tombs. With battle cries of shriek and boom, they push each other's lanky bodies onto pebbles in the icy brine and hold shoulders and heads under waves till they gasp for air. Willing combatants, they pound and twist limbs underwater. Water is swallowed and eyes are stinging. Then they pull their war-tired selves onto terry towels to collapse and rest before the mount of the lifeguard chair, their final reign. She is speaking too loudly for any fish to bite, so I switch my goal from perch to patient listener. Below the water, the line, on the line, the hook, on the hook, the fly. She accentuates and punctuates, the water reverberates. I sigh, nod, and offer repellent for numerous no-see-ums, and pull on the line with the hook and the fly. And the rock seat is boulder hard, the sky dark as denim. Her stories run rampant over aunts and colleagues and unappreciative bosses. Under the surface, I see a silver-toned bass slide so slowly and seamlessly, and her irritation now sadness, and I must have missed something as her tears fleck the water's surface above the line with the hook and the fly, and I see the no-see-ums, and I hear the sorrow in her escalating voice as I try to decipher meaning, as I gaze at the perch swimming by, my line, hook, and fly. On the highway, on the pole, their soft necks hang, teddy bears and stuffed rabbits, pale plastic flowers and photos, faces and all smiles, bow and hair, party dress, thick ribbons wrapped like festive garland around splintered wood and wires. Sometimes, on the pavement, the red fragment of a taillight or sparkle of glass, fossils from the wreckage. These clustered tributes are side-of-the-road altars marking just where the turn was too tight, ice too slick, one driver too tanked, or the phone, dropped bagel, song switch, distracting signage, a kiss. There can never be a routine passing past this place, no matter how frequent. Something new is seen, a different feeling felt, the sound of the sustained horn, an echo of a screech, a crunch, a cry.
Disjointed continuity at precisely 4:44 a.m. on a Sunday during the upheaval of summer in New York. 1. Goose flesh pulsates down our necks as we slowly exhale to outlast the night. Like blindfolded children groping for the prize at the bottom of the box, fingering it with curious twigs, being enthusiastic with whatever is inside. 2. We saturate ourselves with spit and sweat until we are a used sponge like a bacchanalian girl in float around the harborist's body, an ill-conceived boat of love not, want not, set adrift in the swelling. 3. East of Eden, where the blues and whites are brighter, I search for her, an unbloomed, frozen magnolia pod, uninvited like the people I shoulder swipe, stale and silent, a reminder of my frosted chest. 4. Moonlight illuminates a pathway and guides my souls to a place like my home, but with more corridors and demure spiders sopping up secrets with their porous ears. Like sapling congregating in the snowbank, bodies and limbs pinned down by wet globs of winter, what if scenarios and excuses mix with blood, exhaust? An early morning stream of unconscious headlights jammed in the sunrise. The barrel-chested moon, a few steps behind and trailing fast from the streets, shoulders as best he can the oncoming thaw. Skid marks of clouds lateral the pomegranate-bruised lip horizon, parallel 2 pair of tire grooves in the snow. Mid-sized beasts of metal and glass clamor together on the side of the road. They'd rather roll over and sleep in their own beds. There they can wander from. Here loss has bred. The outward curl of a cresting wave of scabbed bark peeled back to show the soggy, pale flesh of an old magnolia. An old screwdriver to scrape out our names below a barely tangible American Indian head. Geronimo, he said. Upon the tallest limbs where we would recline is the smallest indention of a southward arrow and jump. We would swing till we heard our mother's call, then through the mellowed light of the sun, we raced barefoot. That summer, we buried our neighbor, Mr. Dewey. Rocking on his porch, listening to the chirping crickets, our eyes reflected fireflies, figure-8ing in the after-day glow. So we blew on our bamboo flutes he made us to serenade his ghost. A 3-year-old shaky voicemail at 3 a.m. Disposable camera photos. The clatter of hail against a pewter Oldsmobile. Hand-me-down mirrors, chipped of the gold paint. Bedroom windows smudged with sweat. Wind-blown roads to mountain lakes. And sung by heart piano songs. Escape to Mississippi. A place where there are fugitives and refugees. A place with no city limits, and boundaries are only skin deep. Look at the greens. Look at the blues, the heat-drenched land. Everything screams here. Transformations happen in dark rooms, roach to man, beast to poet, as soon as the door licks brass. Without expiration dates to count on our fingers, breathe out like a nickname. The large signs rimmed in white, they birth memories. The moments felt in each passing town, the feet remember, oh yes, they do. They are relit for a time, just to see how they burn now, in comparison to the way the smoke whipped back then. When the kindling finally simmers down and with the smoke stacks assessed, balance those moments on the edge of the rim, ashed doubt, and pile them up like before. Walk through the middle of the sleeping highway, bisecting the old and the older. Bury your tired hands in the pearl's bank like roots of an ancestral magnolia tree. Sweet southern sunflower, get right. Get right to remind the others how to sway in the wind. Shed the browning petals and replace the empty spaces with new ones, wherever. Your silence is a vessel and a destruction, both a means of escape. They are scattered nailed into the floorboards, a history of horizontal breaths, cheek to grain, lungs shudder air. The way they touch me, rigid and with an incapable chill, makes me shiver out a sigh. Between the slats, the cracks slip, lambent light, royal blue. In the glow, the dust motes gush aimlessly at my breath, then slow swirl. My jaw, it grinds against the splinters. One mote shouts, "I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired." Another gives chase to an absent mother. Into tight ropes, some braid my hair till the strands bow low and break the tension. They seem to be having fun, at least. And when gum-stuck knots stop the comb, I'll shear them off like I've done in the past. The rest of them swarm, a face full of fruit flies bouncing on my cheek, leaving their own memories in my pock-marked husk. I'll realize something in the morning is missing.